Bill Clinton. What he has proposed is not what Bill Clinton did. Now, come on, let's be fair with that. You know, all these issues that Terry has touched on is what this is going to be about. But before we end, I've got to talk about something that may skew this election that no one's paying attention to. And I'll start with a story. In 1984, I walked in the Oval Office, and I said to President Reagan, Mr. President, I've got some good news for you, and I've got some bad news for you. This was the summer of '84. And he said, what's good news? And I said, well, for the first time since the end of World War II, young Americans in those states where you register by party, you don't register by party in those states, but in those states where you register by party, more young Americans are now registering as Republicans than Democrats. And you did that, Mr. President, because of your leadership and so forth. And he says, well, what's the bad news? I said, they don't vote. Historically, 18 to 29-year-olds are the worst voters. Now, I think a real key to this election is whether or not young Americans turn out. There's no question that the Obama campaign has energized young Americans like I've never seen since Reagan or John F. Kennedy. And the question is whether or not they will in fact turn out. And that's going to be the key. It's going to be the key in a great number of states because they can change the dynamic. There are now, I think, 10 million more eligible voters between 18 and 29 than voted in 2000. I mean, it is a remarkable focus out there. And so the key in this campaign is going to be whether or not that happens. Because seniors always vote. The best voters are those over 50. And they've historically always been good voters. So watch that. And I also think that the polls may be wrong with regard to young voters. Why? Because these. Most young Americans no longer, when they rent an apartment or something, get a landline. They say, why the hell do I have to pay the telephone company? I've got my cell phone. And it's very hard for the pollsters to get the telephone numbers. And so there may be that there's underpolling going on as to young Americans. Very interesting. And you talk to the Gallup people, or you talk to Peter Hart, or you talk to Frank Luntz, and they will admit to you that that's really an unknown. So watch as you're going forward in this campaign. That could be a very, very tentative or very, very exciting part of this. I have been in politics longer than Terry. I'm a little bit older than he. I have never in my life, until one of my daughters forwarded me the YouTube piece that was done for Obama with the Black Eyed Peas. I sat there when that came, this was early on, as the campaigns were beginning, and everyone said that Hillary had this thing in the tank. And if you haven't seen it, go online. Most of you in this audience, young people shaking your head, you've seen it. It is the most incredible thing that I've seen in politics. I mean, when that thing was over, I had tears in my eyes. It was incredible. And I said then to Wally Chalmers, a Democrat who works for me in my office, I said, Hillary, better watch out for this guy. This is powerful. And if that sort of thing turns into this general election, and young voters do in fact turn out, this could be the route that Terry was talking about. So look for that.